Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. So I hope I am audible and visible to you. Can I get yes in the comments so that we can start with today's session? Okay guys, thank you for commenting. Let's start with today's session. Okay, so today we are going to be solving some interesting problems related to strings. Okay, let me just reduce the font size so that says visible. There it's the smallest. Okay, so today we are going to be solving an important question. Okay, and that question is we need to check in a given substring, in a string we need to find the longest palindromic subsequence or substring basically. Okay, so that sounds little scary, but be with me, I'll be explaining you everything. Okay, so it's not at all complex, it's very simple rather. So the question is longest palindromic substring. Okay, so in the last session we have already seen about palindrome. Okay, so what is palindrome, guys? So basically if A B A, if you read from front or if you read from back, both are same. Okay, in both way you will be reading A B A only. That's a palindrome. And another example can be like if the string is ABC, it is not a palindrome. So not a palindrome. As simple as that. So we will be given a string. For example, the strings can be something AA, BB, AA. So in this we need to find the longest palindromic substring. So which can be the longest palindromic subsequence in this substring? It can be this one, right? So it can be this one, A, B, B, A. So this will be the longest, because if you read from left or if you read from right, both are same and the size or the length of this substring is 6, which is greater than any other substring possible. Okay, so that's the little solution, and let's see how we can solve this question. Okay, so those who have joined now, I'll be explaining what we are going to be solving today. So for today the question is rather it sounds little scary, but it is not at all. It is rather a simple question, and we have already solved the part of this question before only. So what we have solved is we need to check whether a string is palindrome or not. That we have already did in the last session. Okay, and now we need to check in a given string, we need to find a substring that has the maximum size or the length. So in this case we have given this substring, which is this one, and the longest is available substring is this one, right? AA, BB, AA. So this is the solution. Okay, and we have already seen this. Let us try to solve this question. Okay, so let me just erase some of this part. I will be not removing all part. Let me remove this only. Okay, so let's write the code. First we are going to be including all the header file that we are going to be need. So this is bit/stdc++.h, which I always do in the starting, and then I'm going to be including a namespace so that I do not have to write std in the whole code. Okay, then I'm going to be writing a main function in which I'll be going to write the main logic there. Okay, as simple as that. Now let us write that string which we want. Okay, so the string s equals to I'll be writing AAA BB AA, so that's a string. Now let us first check, let us write the code for checking whether the string is palindrome or not. We are going to be starting with very basics. Okay, I'll be explaining you the least efficient approach first, then we'll be solving some efficient algorithm. We'll be making changes in our code and to get the better solution or the better code with the complexity. Okay, so let's check. I'm just going to be writing boolean function, and what is the main logic behind solving this question is, we have given a string. Okay, I'll be finding each and every substring. Basically I'll be iterating in this, and I'll be taking each and every substring possible in this string, and for each substring I'll be checking whether that is palindrome or not, and if that is palindrome, I'll be taking the string with the maximum length. Okay, that string I'll be just going to be displaying. Okay, so that's the main idea behind it. So I'll be doing that. So first I will be making a function for checking is palindrome. I'm just calling that as is palindrome, makes more sense. Okay, is palindrome, and I'm just going to be writing, or I'm just going to be writing string s, and from here, so I'll be just calling this for now. So let's discuss this. So basically I'll be just, for now I'm just going to be implementing this palindrome, which is we already did in the last session. I'm just going to be passing s in this. Okay, and from here there's two way. In the last what we have did is, we have did something like this. We have started our iteration. Okay, that is from 1, and we'll be going to length. Okay, s dot length, then I'll be just doing I plus plus, and I'll be just checking if our s of I is not equals to s of, what will be the last this one, that will be nothing but, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be making another variable int l, and I'll be just storing that s dot length -1. Okay, so that's the last point, and we can keep that as, or we can keep that as s dot length, not a problem. But here I'll be writing l minus I minus 1. Okay, so that's plus 1 I think. Okay, that's what we are going to be doing. Basically what I'm doing here is, for example, if the string is something like A, B, C, D, if this is a string, okay, just there, I'm just keeping my phone here so that I can see the comments. Okay, let me bring this pen over here. Okay, so that's good now. So here what we have index something like this, 0 1 2 3. Okay, now our length for this is 4. Okay, our length is 4, L is 3 now. Okay, and then we'll be having this s of I is 0, means this 0 will be checked with 3. Okay, so how we'll be getting that? So that's just basically this length is there. Okay, length is for this case the length is 4 minus 3, 3 minus 0 plus 1, which is nothing but 4. Okay, so that is what we are going to be doing. So if we want to just compare that, what we are going to do, we just want to compare this 0 and D, which is index 3, right? So we can remove this one because we have already included s dot length minus 1, right? So that's what we are going to be doing. We are just going to be decreasing length, or basically for this the length was supposed to be 4. We have decreased 1, which is means is 3, and is pointing to 3. And now from that we will be just decreasing one by one. For example, for this L minus 0 will be decreased, for this L minus 1 which will pointing here, okay, and from here I will be there, I plus 1 will be there. So basically this and this will be compared in this string, okay. So if that is the case, then we will be just returning false, or if this code runs full, then we will be just returning true, okay. So let's try to run the code and see the output. Yes, let's try to run the code and see. For this it should be coming no, or basically it should be coming false or 0 in this case. And if you do something, if you just remove 2 a's and if you try to run the code now, it will be giving us 1, okay. So our code is working. So that's the one way for doing that, okay, in which we have just used for loop and we have checked. And what can be the another way can be, just let me comment this section, and I'll be just creating a string here. Let me just remove all this stuff, okay. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be making a string. I'll be calling that as R and I'll be calling that as S. Basically I'll be just copying S string into R. Now I'll be doing reverse. We have reverse function, and I'm just going to be writing R dot begin, then comma R dot end, okay. So that's what we have done now, and we are just going to be returning if R is equals to S, if that's the case, okay. So let's try to run the code now. So that's the simple code. For this it's showing 1. If you increase one more a, and if we just try to run the code, it will be showing us 0, which is true in this case. So our first part is done, which means our code is checking for palindrome or not, okay. Now let us try to find the maximum length for this palindrome. So how we are going to be doing that? So first thing is, we are going to be running our for loop, okay, and I'll be just calling that as I, and then I less than n. So that's basically we are going to be taking each and every substring possible in our string S. So that's how we are doing. We are going to be starting our j from I, and it will be running up to less than n, I plus plus. So what is n? N is basically the size of the string. So I'll be just writing int n equals to s dot size, or we can even do length. So that's not a problem. Now in this we are going to be doing two things. First is we are going to be storing that string somewhere. So our string answer is where we are going to be storing the string which is the longest substring possible in our string S, okay. So we are going to be doing that, and in order to store the maximum, we are going to be checking the size of each and every string, okay. So that's how we are going to be doing. Now how we can do that? So basically by comparing the length, okay, by comparing the length of the strings, okay. If that is palindrome, if the substring is palindrome, okay, so we'll be just checking the length of that palindrome substring, and if it is greater than what we have found before, we'll be storing that, otherwise we'll not be storing that, okay. So I hope everything is clear now. So we are going to be making a variable which will be maximum, int max. Will be storing that as 0 initially, and then we are going to be checking. Now first thing is, here we are going to be doing two things. First is we are going to be finding the length. Okay, first is we are going to be finding the length, and then we are going to be passing that into our substring. Okay, our palindromic function. So that will basically be giving us the answer. Okay. So first thing is we'll be just finding the length of the substring. So how we are going to be finding that? I'll be using integer, and I'll be calling that as length, and I'll be just doing j minus I plus 1. Okay, so that's the length of the substring. Okay, for example, let us take an example. So suppose the example is ABCBA. Okay, so suppose we are dealing with this string, so it will be 0 1 2 3 4 indexes. Then I will suppose I'm here, so it will be 2 minus 0 plus 1, which is 3. The length of this substring is 3. So that's what we are going to be storing here. Okay, and we are going to be taking the substring also. We are going to be making a string. So I'm just calling that as temp or T string, and T string is what we are going to be finding. So we'll be using substr function for getting the substring. Okay, for getting the substring, and what we are going to be passing here, first we'll be passing the initial starting position, which is I. Okay, which is I, and second is the length which we want to be in our string. Okay, when that is done, let me just decrease the size. Okay, so here we have this done this. Now we need to just check. Okay, so first thing is I'm just going to be calling our function. The function name is palindromic, and we are going to be passing this function. So if so let us pass if is palindrome. What palindrome? The string T which we have found. If that is palindrome, and we are going to be checking other thing also. The other thing is that whatever the maximum which we have got initially, it is greater, or basically that is maximum is 0, and the second condition we are checking is that the new length which we have got, that is length, if it is greater than, if that length is greater than maximum, then only we are going to be updating our length. Okay, and updating our string. So first thing is we are going to be doing maximum. So maximum, I'm just going to be calling that as max t. You shouldn't confuse. So max t equals to the length, and the answer string is nothing but the substring or the string t. Okay, so that's it. Now we have this answer string as stored. Let us try to print that outside this. Okay, I'm just going to be printing that. So I will be printing, I'll be using cout, and I'll be using answer. Let us try to print that. There are some errors. So here we don't have max, I think, so we need to change that. Let me just decrease the size here and remove all this so it doesn't get confused. We have length and we have max t. Okay, and we can put a bracket here and try to run the code. There is some problem with that. So first thing is we have missed our j here. Okay, and now it should work. Okay, So here we have got AA BBA, which is correct in our case. So that is the real thing about this. This was not at all complex, although it was simple. Okay, so what we have done in this whole code, I'm just going to be decreasing again the size so that I'm going to be seeing the full. So first thing is, we have made our boolean function is palindrome for checking whether the string is palindrome or not. Okay, then we are writing the string for which we need to check. For example, in this case the string was AAA or BB AA. Okay, then we have found our n equals to size. Then we had made our string answer, in which we will be storing the substring with a maximum length. Okay, with the maximum length. So in this case the maximum length for string was 6, which was our answer. Okay, and then we have this max t equals to 0. Here what we are doing, we are trying to we are using this to get the maximum. For example, there are two substring in a string which are palindrome. We want to take the substring with the maximum length. So that's what we are doing here. We are checking each and every length for the string. If that is greater than our max t, then we are taking that. We are updating our max t, and we are also doing our we are updating our answer as t. Okay, if you want the length also, we can print that. Okay, so instead of doing that, we can also print the length, or how we are going to be writing. We are going to be writing max t. If we just try to run the code, we will be getting answer as this one and with the size. Okay, let me just remove all this. And then what we have done, then we have this, we have condition, we are running into the whole thing, we are just iterating the whole substring or the string part, and then we are just checking this function is palindrome t, length is greater than max t, then we are updating about these things. Okay, so now let us talk about the complexity for this code. The complexity is not at all good, rather it's a brute force approach which we are doing. So basically you can see we have two for loops. So order of n square for iterating the string, or basically finding the substrings here. Okay, so that's the complexity for that. And for checking palindrome, we have order of n. Okay, because we need to iterate the whole string in order to check whether that's a palindrome or not. Okay, so totally it will be nothing but order of n square into n, which is order of n cube time complexity. Okay, so that's not at all good. We want to reduce this complexity to order of n square, and for that we are going to be making some changes in the code. We are going to be increasing the we want to be using the dynamic programming in this, so that we can get the better complexity here in this case. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, so before that I just want to give another approach other than DP. So let me just remove this. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is, so here is the let me just remove all this. Now suppose we have this substring as AA BB, then again AA, then again AA. Okay, and the answer for this was 6. Now another approach is that expanding from middle. Okay, expanding from middle, and what we are going to be doing is, we are just going to be iterating this string. Okay, we are just going to be iterating this string, and for each character, whenever we are at index 0, okay, just going to be writing all the indexes, and whenever we are at index 0, we are going to be expanding from that index. Okay, we are going to be expanding towards left, towards right, and we are going to be checking what is the maximum length of a substring we can get that. Okay, so here we are going to, for this one we are not going to be getting anything, as this is 1, so the longest till now is 1, which is A itself. Then we are going to be going into the index 1, we are at this position. Now from here we are going to be going towards left and towards right till the point where we are getting both are equal. For example, for this one A, and basically the string which we are getting is AAA, which is palindrome in this case. Okay, and the other thing is we are going to be iterating from the next position also. For example, in this case, whenever we are going to be starting from 2, we are going to be again going to be getting the substring which is AAA. So that is also a palindrome, correct? That is also palindrome, that is also palindrome, but we have missed this one 4 times A. This is also palindrome, right? So we need to check this case also. So basically we'll be expanding, for example, for every characters. So suppose we have, in this case also, let me just remove this. Okay, and I'm just going to be writing A here, and then I'm just going to be other thing, and take this blue one. So from here we were expanding towards left and towards right, so we got the maximum 3. But if we start from here, okay, basically if we start from both this position, okay, from here also, from here also, first thing that they are equal, okay, they are equal, then this both are also equal, which means this and this are equal, this and this are equal, so we are getting 4 here. So we are going to be expanding from even and odd both values. Okay, so that's what we are going to be doing in this case. So that's another approach which you can also suggest, which you can also try to solve. Okay, so just try that. And how we are going to be doing is, basically you will be running a for loop, okay, which are going to be starting from I equals to 0, it will be going up to s dot length, okay, and then I plus plus, and for each and every we can make a function, okay, check I, and you can call that as length 1, because you are going to be finding basically the length, whichever the length maximum you are getting, you will be taking that. So for other also you will be finding length 2, and in that you will be basically passing 3 things. First is string which you are there, then you are going to be passing the I, okay, which is nothing but the starting, and then again I, because for odd whenever the string is having odd number of characters, for that you will be passing I. If you have even, then you will be passing I and then I plus 1. Okay, and whichever of them is having the maximum length, you will be taking that. Okay, and then accordingly you will be making indexes start and end. You will be storing that indexes here, start and end. Okay, and then whichever you are getting the lowest start and maximum end, you will be taking that and you will be just printing that here. Okay, the substring which can be formed from this starting and comma end. Okay, this will basically the length, the total length which you will be getting from here. The length is maximum of length 1 and length 2. Okay, so I hope the algorithm is very much explained. Now it is up to you to solve and implement this. If you have any doubt regarding the algorithm, please tell me. Okay, now we are going to be talking about the dynamic approach which you can do, which you can try to solve. So basically the substring which we were talking about is this one, AA, BB, A, and the indices for this are nothing but 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what we are going to be doing, we are going to be constructing a 2D matrix. Okay, and then we'll be writing 0, 1, 2 the indices, and this is that. So So that's what we are going to be doing. We are constructing this one, and then we have this as starting point. So this is basically starting and this is basically end. Okay, so how we are going to be doing is, let me just take the another pencil. Okay, so here from starting 0, index 0 up to 0, that is we are talking about this, will be getting only one palindrome. Okay, basically that is palindrome. So in this table we are going to be filling from starting to ending whether that string is palindrome or not. For example, if we take the example of this first, starting from 0 ending up to 0, we have this one, right? So it is possible. So we are going to be writing 1 there. Starting from 1 and ending till 1 means this, we are talking about this. So for this also we are getting 1. Starting from 2 and ending up to 2, we are getting again 1. So basically all the diagonals will be 1 1 only. Okay, so let us put 1 1 in all the diagonals. So 1 1 1 1 and 1. Okay, now we have talked about 1. Now let us take two values, for example from 0 to 1. For this case you can see we are getting 1, we are getting true. Basically these are palindrome. Okay, so what is the condition check which you will be putting? Okay, so condition check will be, if the string, I am just calling that string as S, if that string with the start is equals to S of end, then you can say that's a palindrome. And the other condition is that whatever the, for example, let us take two strings A, B, B, A. For this we have checked that whatever the start position is there, whatever the end position is there, if they are equal, that's palindrome. And other condition is that whatever the position that is from S of st, that is from st plus 1 till end minus 1, if that is end, basically this string should be palindrome. Okay, so if both of these conditions are met, then only we can say that this whole thing from starting to end is palindrome. Okay, I hope you got. So there are two conditions. First is this, second is this one, which is end. Basically from st plus 1 to end minus 1, the string should be a palindrome. Okay, so that's what we are going to be doing here. Now from 0 to 1, this string is also a palindrome, we are putting 1. From 1 to 2, okay, from 1 to 2, this is also palindrome, we are putting 1 here. From 2 to 3, this is also palindrome, we are putting 1. From 3 to 4, it is not a palindrome, which means we have checked this condition, that is S of start, S of is not equals to S of end, we will be putting 0 in this case. Okay, from 4 to 5, this is palindrome. From 5 to 6, again it is not a palindrome. From 6 to 7, this is palindrome, so we are putting 1 there. So we have did this part. Now we are going to be using this formula, and we'll be checking the size of 3's now. Okay, from 0 to basically 2, from 0 to 2. Okay, so first thing is from 0 to 2, we are starting at I 0 2, so which means S of 0 is equals to S of 2, and given that index that is 1, from 0 to 1, that is palindrome, that is palindrome. Okay, for this case it is palindrome because it is a single thing, there is single characters. So from 0 to 2, this is also a palindrome. Okay, from 1 to 3, from 1 to 3, this is also palindrome because S of 1 is equals to S of 3 and S of 2 is also palindrome. Okay, S of 2 is a palindrome, which means only a single character is there. So for this also it's palindrome, so we are getting 1 here in this case. Okay, now we have this from 2 to 4. This is not a palindrome as S of start is not equals to S of end, so from 2 to 4 it is not a palindrome. From 3 to 5, from 3 to 5, this is also not palindrome, we are putting 0. From 4 to 6, from 4 to 6, it is not a palindrome as S of start is not equals to S of end. From 5 to 6, from 5 to 6, it is not a palindrome. Then we are getting from 0 to 3. From 0 to 3, from 0 to 3 we have this one, okay, that is s of st, that is starting and the ending point are equal, that is first condition is met. Then we are going to be checking about st plus 1 and n minus 1, which is 1 and 2. From, you can see from 1 and 2 we are getting that as true, which means this is also a palindrome. From 0 to 3, this is also correct in this case. Now then we are talking about 1 to 4. From here to here, st is not equals to s of st is not equals to s of n, which means we are getting that as 0 in this case. Then again from 2 to 5, from 2 to 5 we are getting 0. From 3 to 6 we are getting from 3 to 6, which is palindrome, okay, so we are putting 1. From 4 to 7, from 4 to 7 we are not getting palindrome. From 3 to 6, 3 to 6 is palindrome. From 4 to 7, from 4 to 7 we are not getting a palindrome, so we are putting 0. Then again we are taking from 0 to 4, it is not a palindrome. Then again all values will not be a palindrome, okay, because we don't have any other palindromes in these cases. From 1 to 5, from 1 to 5 we are not getting palindrome, so again 0. From 2 to 6, from 2 to 6 we are not getting palindrome. From 3 to 7, from 3 to 7 we are not getting palindrome. Then from 1 to 6, from 1 to 6 we are not getting palindrome. From 2 to 7, from 2 to 7 we are getting palindrome, which means we are putting 1 here in this case. And from 1 to 7 we are not putting anything. From 1 to 7 it's not a palindrome. So we have filled this values. Now you can see which of them is the maximum. So here you can see this one over here with one value is the maximum, okay, so we'll be taking that. If they are mentioning that you need to be having a proper substring and you cannot take whole given string as a substring, so in that case you can exclude this, and other values you can take from here, okay, so that's the maximum and you can use this one as your answer, okay. So I hope you have got it. If you have any doubts regarding this problem, you can always ask in the comment section. So that's the dynamic approach. And talking about the complexity, we are just iterating this one, or we are basically getting the string. We are using only order of n square for getting the whole thing. We are just filling these values, okay. So that is basically order of n square, and then we will be just putting all these values, which means we'll be also putting this value again iterating, and we'll be getting order of n square in this case, okay. So that is basically order of n square in solution for this one. That is a dynamic approach, okay. I hope you have got the idea from this. If you have any doubt, you can always ask here. So for this problem we have talked 3 approaches. Basically, first approach was brute force approach, which took order of n cube. Then we have talked about order of n square, which is this dynamic approach, and another order of n square which was starting from middle and expanding from both sides. Basically starting from the center and expanding towards left and right, whichever will be the maximum, you are going to be taking that values, okay. So that's it for this. If you have any doubt, you can always ask in the comment section. So there is one problem. Basically I was supposed to solve 2 problems today, but that problem due to the less time will not be taking today, but I'll just giving you the gist of the problem. The problem is basically we need to check whether 2 strings, for example if string s1 is something 1 2 and string 2 is a b, and we are given s3 and we are given something like this, so we need to check whether this s3 is proper shuffle of s1 or s2, okay. So we need to check if s3 is proper shuffle of S1 and S2. And how we can say what is proper shuffle? Proper let me just go back if I'm going to be getting that thing or not. Let me check. So I just need to write again, I think. So Vj, basically how we are getting 7 as basically the output was 6 for that, because the maximum substring which we took was a b b a. This was the substring and this was the maximum which we took. Okay, so the string was maximum 7 length. Okay, and how we will be getting that? Basically, if you just what was the matrix? It was from 0 to, it starts from 0, it goes to 6, then 0 to 6. If that is 0 indexed, which means we were getting the point here. So it was something 6 minus 1, something I forgot. It should be 6 minus 1. So the length of this is 8. The length of this is 8. So it will be starting from 0, we going to 7. It will be starting from 0, it will be going to 7. Okay, and the position which we were getting is from 2 to, from here, from 2 we were getting here the answer which was 1. Now this is maximum. How maximum? Basically, if you just deduce this 7 minus 2 and you just add 1, because this is 0 indexed, so this will be 5 plus 1, which gives you 6. Okay, so that's the substring, the length of the substring which we want, or which is basically the maximum in this case. Okay, I hope you have got this. Okay, so the problem which I was explaining you was this one, the proper shuffle. How can I say whether that's a proper shuffle or not? Let me just again write. S1 is given something like 1 2, S2 is given something like AB, S3 something 1A 2B, and this is a proper shuffle, which means that the order will be proper. For example, 1 and 2, it appears in this function only, 1 and 2. So in this main string or the given string, this 1 or 2 should be like this. 1 should come before 2, and A, B also, A should come before B. Okay, so that's a proper shuffling. Another example can be X, Y, 1, 2. So we can say something like X, or we can say X1, Y2. This is the proper shuffling, and even this is a correct answer. 1X, Y2. This is also correct answer. Okay. So that is the problem. Now we'll be solving this problem tomorrow, as the time is not there for me to explain this whole thing. But you need to try by yourself how we can find that. So I hope the problem is clear. We need to check whether the given string, we will be basically given 3 strings. Okay, S1, S2, S3. S1 is this one, S2 is this one, S3 is this one, and we just want to print yes or no, if that is proper shuffle or not. Okay, so that's it for this tip. I hope you are liked and understood whatever I explained. We'll be meeting tomorrow with another such interesting problems. Thank you guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go and subscribe, and please hit the like button if you have liked and if you like the content from this channel. Thank you guys for watching.
Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi from GeeksforGeeks, and there is a small announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a stream on strings that is going to be happening from Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. In this stream, we will be discussing about from very basics. We will be covering the topics in strings that are important for interview preparations, and then we will be moving to the advanced question. So do join us 3 to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi from GeeksforGeeks, and there is a small announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a stream on strings that is going to be happening from Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. In this stream, we will be discussing about from very basics. We will be covering the topics in strings that are important for interview preparations, and then we will be moving to the advanced question. So do